Hello everyone, welcome in. I hope you're doing well today. I'm Taffany, and this beautiful little kitty cat is Tika. And I thought I would take you around the back garden today just to give you a little update on the changes that have been made, things that have been done on or off camera, and just show you what everything is looking like. And we are bagging out of the garden to start on the driveway with these new pots that I just did with faux flowers. A combination of petunias are in here, and I think it's very colorful and bright and cheerful, and really what is needed up against this plain, boring fence. So if you're coming up the driveway, this is kind of what you're going to be seeing. And yeah, I like it. So I wanted to show you that before we get going inside of the back garden. So let's head in and just take a quick look at everything. You know, you've seen our pots here, my favorite display right there. The wreaths that have been decorated there on the door, on the fence, which I'll give you a good look at in a minute. The pots on this side with the rose and trailing plants and everything at its base in pink and white. It's very pretty. I like it. And then the faux evergreen in the pot next to it. So basically, in other words, this is, a whole faux collection so that I don't have to worry about losing my plants, when I'm away from home or anything like that. Those are the mini boxwood wreaths that I stuffed picks inside of to add some color to it. So that's kind of what's going on there at the entrance. And I decided to re-show those faux so you can see those in conjunction with the new faux that I've done. Those being the pots on the driveway and these gorgeous baskets. And I want to give you a close-up of these baskets because it has rained so much and so heavy. And these were rained on with rain pouring off of the roof. And you see they still look pretty good. So I am highly impressed by that. But now let's head into the garden and let's start with this bed here in front of the fireplace. I call this the fireplace wall, and we just have all of the seedlings here and the white roses that were transplanted. So an outer row of zinnias, a middle row of vinca, and the inner white roses, miniature roses. That bed was done with a mixture of butterfly bushes and buttercups and Mexican heather and so on. So it's going to be really pretty and colorful. And all of the lantana that were pulled from last year's pots that I put into the ground, as you can see, they've grown quite a bit and are doing pretty good. And this one is even blooming right now. So they're all doing great. And real quick, I want to also show you the mum. Look at that. I usually get blooms in the fall and in the spring on the mums, and then they're green year round. Those are the little zinnia seeds, the seedlings there, of course. So they have grown and are starting to bloom. That's the bracteantha and the salvia that was transplanted. And again, keep in mind, these are all things that have been done over the last week, maybe week and a half. So I just want to give you a quick look. Those are the zinnia seeds that are blooming now. So very wonderful there. Now the zinnia seedlings that I planted here in between the society garlics and irises and dwarf euonymus, there's so much rain pouring off of that roof that it really kind of obliterated them. And the same with this Gerber daisy right here. You can see the brown leaves. It's like it just melted it. So that is a little bit of a struggle right now. But for the most part, this walkway looks really good. The yellow Gerber daisy really stands out, and it actually blends in well with the faux pots, as you can see up there, the yellow in the pots and stuff, it kind of matches that. So I need to add some more pops of color on this walkway. That's one of the zinnia seedlings, which is really big now. So they're really coming along. I'm really happy with that. So now let's head into the bedroom garden. Here you can see I added edging and removed the brick so I don't have to deal with the headache of grass growing in between the brick. And I outlined the area with black edging, which you won't see once the grass grows back up to it. And I have changed out the stones back here from the white, brighter, creamy color stones to the brown stones. And I moved the creamier colored stones back here and to other parts of the garden where there are drains. So they're kind of outlining the drains to keep things from going in. And something has dug a deep hole in my flower bed here. I wonder what that is. But in spite of the hole, this bed here has a new rose and the 2 new Parsons junipers. And so it has, basically been filled in with fresh soil and all that. And then the bird feeder here has a new perch. The other one was broken, if you remember. So I finally got that new perch up there and the birds have been loving it. So I'm excited about that. I love looking at the birds on video and stuff. And I took the edging around the rock over here as well to keep the grass from growing in between the rocks there. So that's what I did there. And here is another location where I used the more creamier, more like light creamy colored. I don't want to call them white because they're not white, but that's where I put them. And the 2 little miniature roses that survived of the 5 that I had, there's one there. There's one right there. It had blooms. You can see those blooms are done. And there's a salvia coming back from last year. And the other thing that I did in this garden here over the last few days is I took the liriope grasses out of the area where I put the new rows. I divided it and I put them around this circle bed so that even in off-season air times, there will still be something around that circle. And I also put the rest here. These are a little bit smaller pieces of the liriope grasses that were divided, but I stuck them there. And so this bed has been weeded and cleaned out and ready for planting. So guys, those are the things that were done new over the last week or so in the bedroom garden. So now let's head to where the biggest change has occurred, and that is the courtyard garden. So as we walk along, I will show you on the way the scaevola that has been newly planted. 1 right there, 2 right here, and then the last 3 here. And these were planted to fill in empty spaces. And here is where the Mexican heather was moved. So, I think they're going to do great there, and having a long line of scaevola is going to be pretty. And these are all of the plants that were planted maybe a week ago or so. They're looking good and hanging in there. And also, if you take a look at the little zinnia seedlings that were planted here in front of the display of oregano, they have blooms and they're doing great. But now for the biggest changes, and that is the courtyard garden. We're going to first of all point out before we go in that I reset the fencing on that side and that side. And it's kind of difficult with the tree roots and stuff in that area, but I did get them reset and they're looking pretty good. But you notice right away that center bed, that long bed in the back, and the edging, all of those things stand out and they all really work well together. And envisioning what the back is going to look like, once the garage is done, it's just going to be so pretty. But I like having that bold colored dark brown edging. I wasn't sure when I started, but I still proceeded anyway because I know, it's going to be softened anyway once the evergreen oregano hedge, forms and is all filled in and connecting. But it looks good. It looks so good. And of course, our plantings that have been done over the last month with the podocarpus, the azaleas, the Blue Point junipers, your marigolds and the zinnia seedlings and things like that. All of those things are just filling in so nicely. And the roses that I planted a few days ago back there were pruned, and we'll see if they fill in all right back here. I know that having the tree roots to compete with soil that tends to kind of stay moist more might be a challenge, but we'll see how it goes. Although those roses did come from a place that stayed wet all of the time anyway, so I think they should do good. And again, you can notice the creamy colored rock that came from the bedroom garden that is around that drain. So I used them in that capacity because having the larger rock, I believe, will keep the dirt from sliding in more. And here is the other bed. And I just think it looks so good. And you can see that there's still some of the tags from the tags from the edging there. I might get a scrub daddy or something and try, like I said, as they get watered over a few days, scrub them off without damaging the edging. But this big long bed back here along the fence, it's doing really good. Everything that's been planted in there is doing good. This Sunpatian, it has grown pretty big in the few days that it's been in ground, and I'm sure it's because of all of the rain. The Fizzy Mizzy Sweet Spire on the end there is doing good. The cannas and salvias are doing good, and this Fizzy Mizzy Sweet Spire on this end is also doing good. These were transplanted from the bedroom garden and replaced with the rose and the Parsons junipers. So that bed back there is filled in and it looks good. And just looking at the garden from here, long range, and seeing that edging and the circle bed and all that, everything is so pretty. And of course, Miss Tika, who's always nearby. And also, if you take a look here, the shell, it's sitting in a place where I can't plant because of cables. The sedums and the scaevola are doing great. And I don't want to forget about this honeysuckle. I always tend to forget about mentioning that, but that was just transplanted, if you recall from that vegetable garden video, maybe a couple of weeks ago. So it's fairly new there as well. So I also pruned the shrubs. I rounded off the sunshine ligustrums and I raised the bottom up a little bit, so there's room at the base of the shrubs to get underneath, so the sprinklers can kind of water, better, reach the plants pretty good without, having the bottom part being blocked, and get to plants in front of them and on the side of those shrubs as well. So they've been pruned, all 4 of them. Everything is starting to come together, and it's really, really, I just love it. And look at the hanging baskets and all that. So there are still things to do, like replacing the faux trellises, and seeing those hanging baskets makes me want to change the other hanging baskets back in the courtyard garden for something bigger and more vibrant. But overall, everything is looking great. But I almost forgot. Let me show you one more thing. Now, you may notice that the arbor is standing for the most part straight. It is difficult to get deep into the ground because of tree roots and cables. So I have never been able to get it fully in ground, which has made it kind of always prone to moving and tilting, and the cables stretch along the walkway in this angle, and then some of them go that direction, and then some go back towards the fencing. So the cables and the tree roots, big problem with getting the fencing in, with planting things, and all of that has always been. So I'll never be able to get these arbors down in the ground deep, but if I can raise the soil levels, it will help. That tree right there is a nemesis for me. But having a taller edging will allow me to raise the soil level. It will benefit that arbor as well. But this side where the cables are, I can't, I can get the other side in the ground further than this side. This side is just a no-go. So what I did while I've been working is I got some twine, and I have garden staples. Not garden staples, but garden stakes. And I put the rope around the legs of the arbor, and I've got the garden stakes, and I've put it in ground to hold that side upward, because it tends to lean towards the other side since it's not able to stay in ground too good. So now this has allowed me, and I'm bagging up and I'm trying to do it without tripping over the circle bed, but this has allowed me to get it straight. So as you can see, it is straight. Now my garden is not a solidly level garden. It does kind of have a slight slope, but when you look at it, you can see that it is standing up straight on both sides, and that twine won't be as visible once the plants fill in. It's not really visible now. It's a thinner twine, and I may have to go with something thicker long term, but it does not stand out, so you won't see it, especially once everything fills in, all the plants. But guys, overall, there's been so much progress, and I'm very pleased with how it's going. There's been mistakes and learning, lessons to learn, and trying things and they fail, and trying something else and it succeeds. So it's a learning curve, and I'm very pleased with all of it. So I'm going to end here with my update of all the newest changes that have occurred in the garden, and we will get back out in the garden together and get more things done. So continue to follow along and join me on my gardening journey. And guys, get out and do something you love. Make a memory, as I always say, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.